It's official. The northern city of Hull is home to the street no one wants to leave. But why is that? Well, Sean Blagden won Neighbour of the Year 2020 after he spent much of his time during the pandemic making his street, Ella Street, one of the most desirable places to live in the city. From litter picking to neighbourhood watch, Sean's hard work has definitely made an impression. And Sean joins me now. With him too, the Chief Executive of Neighbourhood Watch, John Hayward-Cripps. Hello to both of you. Sean, how did you feel when you were named Neighbour of the Year?
A bit emotional, a bit overwhelmed, but it's really nice, really good.
What had you done to get yourself nominated in the first place and then catch the eye of the judges?
Well, I'll get involved in a few things. We have a festival every couple of years, and I helped to arrange that. Then I've done a bit of neighbourhood watch, liaising with the police. And then lately, I did the COVID thing back in March when it was that someone was going to have to do something to help people. I organised, well, in the beginning, I organised about 80 people. Then we extended it a bit and ended up being 400 volunteers.
Yeah, so a team of 400 volunteers doing things like shopping, taking in post, chatting to people and making sure they weren't lonely during the pandemic. And that didn't end with lockdown, did it?
No, a lot of it's still going on. What he found was one volunteer helped someone and he said to them, "Do you want any help next week?" And they just continued doing that, even to this day.
So tell us about Ella Street now and what it's like, what the atmosphere is like.
It's a nice community. You can walk down the street and what should be a minute walk can take half an hour because just people stopping in the street and chatting to you. It's a nice area.
Yeah, and helped, of course, by the work you've been doing. Let's bring in John Hayward-Cripps, Neighbourhood Watch CEO. And what was it about Sean that led to him being crowned the Neighbour of the Year?
I think it was just the range of things that Sean has been doing, not just during the lockdown and during the COVID crisis, but he organises the biennial Ella Street Festival. As you mentioned, there were 400 volunteers that he organised as part of the response to COVID, sorting out people's food. There's now a food bank there, getting people's medicines, all the small things. I mean, prior to that, he was arranging for car-free playouts for some youngsters, litter picking. Sean is one of those people that is really really modest, but does a huge amount to and is the kind of glue of his neighbourhood. You know, and I think it's fantastic that we're celebrating someone that does so much, but is unbelievably modest about what he does.
Yeah, and we can hear that modesty coming out in your answers, Sean. But John, neighbours can get a bit of a bad press, can't they, sometimes? Nuisance neighbours, of course. But this is raising awareness of just how important community is.
It is. I mean, the research that we've done with the co-op has really highlighted that most people want to be more connected with their neighbours and more connected in their neighbourhood, but genuinely sometimes aren't sure how to do that or what to do to make that happen. And I think COVID, having a kind of shared enemy, if you like, and a bit more time because everyone was in lockdown, has enabled people to make those little links. It's not rocket science. It's a lot of the small things, just smiling, chatting to a neighbour, putting the bins out, taking a parcel. It's all those small things that can make a huge difference. And I think that's the bit where people then feel more connected, so they feel less lonely, that our communities become safer, crime goes down, people feel proud of their area. It's a whole range of ordinary people doing small things that can make an absolutely huge impact on a community.
One of the things that I think united a lot of streets as well was that Thursday night coming out and clapping on our doorsteps. Often people wouldn't have seen many other faces for the entire day and coming out and all clapping together to praise the NHS and key workers. But on your street, Ella Street, Sean, you don't get very far very fast, do you? Because there's an awful lot of people who want to stop and have a chat.
Yeah, walking down the street can bump into like 4 or 5 people and just chat for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you minute to go shopping and 15-minute trip, and 2 hours later you got back home.
John, to you, as well as Sean, you also look for the young neighbour.
With nominations this year with over 850 the winner of the Young Neighbour of the Year, the little girl Taylor O'Connor up in Edinburgh, who's only 9 years old, who was involved in baking cakes for some of her neighbours, posting letters for them, going next door to chat at a distance, and making sure that some of her neighbours who were lonely or a bit isolated weren't isolated. And so, yeah, she's done a fantastic job up in Edinburgh.
Congratulations to Taylor as well. And Sean, just one final thought from you. Are you now a celebrity on your street and in Hull?
Well, that's one or two people driving on the street today, beeping their horns. Hello. We'll see how long it lasts. It's fun. Have fun while it does.
Very well deserved recognition. Sean Blagden, John Hayward-Cripps, thank you.
Thank you.